Hey guys, welcome back. It's me. For today's video, I'm going to be here talking with the amazing person that I have with me today. As always, thank you so much for your time and tuning in for today's video. Hey, what's your name?
My name is Gloria.
Nice to meet you, Gloria. Do you have a highlight of the day or the week?
Take my kids out to play to the library today. I don't think there's a highlight there. It's just a normal day, I guess. Yeah.
Thanks. What do you wish you taught about mental health as a kid?
So I believe a lot of people have heard about the Asian parent stereotypes. So that Asian parents always say, there's no mental health issues you need to be concerned about. It's just you being weak, not making enough accomplishments. So if you feel depressed, that's your problem. That's not called depression. That's called failure. That's a stereotype that most people have with Asian parents. And that's true. So I was brought up that way. I always thought if I was second or third place in my class, I don't think Australian schools do that. They don't really rank kids' school results, do they? Exam results.
Not really, but I think some schools can get dispatched if the exam results are really bad sometimes.
Okay. But in China, all the results are transparent. You can see who's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and until the last. So it's a bit harsh. I always strive for number 1. I was usually number 1, but sometimes I got unlucky, probably 4th place. And my parents got a bit upset with me. Say, why are you not achieving 100%? Why are you 98, 99? But that's just impossible for I believe I'm a maybe average kid. I wasn't a genius. So I tried hard, but I'm not 100% achieving what my parents wanted. So I always felt really guilty for not achieving the best. So one thing I believe that we should be taught at school as a Chinese kid when I was young is that it's not your fault or to not achieve what your parents wanted, because that's their expectation and that's what their dream was about. And maybe that's what they were taught when they were as little kids. And that's not what they really wanted. So I never knew what I really wanted when I was young. So I'm trying to let my kids know that it's okay not to be the best. And if you're feeling happy, depressed or anxious or anything, that's totally normal. That's some sort of mental issues you're encountering and it's normal. And you should tell your parents about it and you should speak up about it. Don't just think I'm just so weak. I'm just not resilient. I'm just not able to take all this pressure. So I think that's wrong.
So as a child, if you were to raise yourself and you had all the money, the food, how would you raise yourself differently from what your parents expected of you?
So my parents didn't starve me, so I didn't really have any problems with money or food. I'm not brought up in a wealthy family, probably average, but everything was okay. But they didn't really care what I liked. So I'm raising my children now, so I would let them pick what they want and I would still have my basics. So I will have my rules that's unbreakable. I'll tell them don't touch drugs, no alcohol when you're underage. But if you have certain hobbies, I'm happy to support you. Like my son, he loves Roblox and Minecraft just like the other kids. So I would let him play that because, a lot of Asian parents are actually against screen time. I'm pretty strict on that too, but I will still let his creativity develop because I think that's quite important for kids.
If you, let's say, if you were not raised differently, but didn't have those kind of limitations, do you think you would end up differently the way you are now? Not saying it's bad, but...
Definitely. I'm actually consulting with a therapist recently. I just felt like a lot of Asian kids may have similar childhood trauma. It's not a serious trauma that you go through. It's not like somebody important in your life died or something. It's more about your inner child, the true self, was neglected when you were young. So if I was brought up differently and my inner child, the little girl in myself was looked after, the thoughts of myself were listened to by my parents, I think things will go very differently. I will feel more secure. I would feel much loved. So I know it's not right to blame my parents for doing that because they were brought up the same way. But I just think it would be a better world if people can realize that. Oh, Asian parents.
Do you think your therapist is helping you with that?
I'm actually working on that with a therapist.
So for any Asian parents that are having trouble with their children, because not necessarily trauma, but the way that they were raised, they don't know how to raise their children in a proper way. How do I explain it? So what would be your advice for Asian parents out there today?
My advice is that it's okay to get close with your children. You still have the authority and they will still listen to you. But the first thing is that you need to respect them and listen to their thoughts and really try to understand what they trying to express. Maybe they are just screaming because they don't know how to express themselves and they're just screaming, crying, and maybe a lot of rebellious behaviors, but they do have some underlying thoughts that they can't talk to you about because you just choose to say no to them straight away when they propose something. So my advice is to listen to them, try to calm down, try not to be parents first, try to be a friend.
And how do you make sure that you're the one that is listening to your children's thoughts, and how do you keep that in check?
To be honest, it's actually quite hard because I was brought up that way. Sometimes I do, like my kids get a bit pushing my buttons and then I'll be a bit crossed. I know right away I realize, oh, I'm like my mom. I'm just like my mom. But then I'll try to tell myself, take a big breath. Don't get too angry. Don't get mad at them. Take a deep breath and then talk slowly is very important. And then when you talk slowly, you have more time to process what you do, what you say. Don't say things really hurtful because really it will have a lifelong impact. I agree.
Do you have any ways of coping with the stress when you're in that kind of situation? Or is it just, do you have your way with coping with the stress in that kind of situation? Or is it just like breathing in and out?
For me, I think because my parents are already in their 60s, it'd be hard to rewire their brain. So their mindset is already there. It's easier for me to recondition myself. So really, it's just me coping with it. Going to the therapy is one thing. I do meditation as well because coping with my parents and also trying to learn my ideal way of treating my children. That's my thing right now.
So do you think the way that you were raised, will you, not on purpose, but will that go into your way of raising your kids? Or do you make sure that that's absolutely not the case?
I try, but as I said, because I'm already over 30 years old, I was brought up by typical Asian parents. I was sort of really well-behaved kid when I was young. I always listened to my parents. I listened 100% to their instructions. But I realize that is not always right. So I try not to be like that to my kids. But sometimes if they get a bit, what's the word? So I'll try to tell, I'm still the parent. Although I'm nice to you most of the time, you still listen to my life advice because it's important. And then maybe when you grow older, you can make your own life decisions without my participation.
Any last parting words for the interview?
I think we covered quite a lot. It was really nice to talk about it. I believe it'll be quite insightful for Asian parents too.
Thank you. As always, share, comment, subscribe for more amazing content like this. Peace.